And our final session of the day, I wanted to end with what I think is one of the coolest tools using artificial intelligence. And in this case, it's in what you could say is in the fashion and apparel space, in order to understand the dimensions of a purchaser. When I saw their tool, my jaw dropped. And Christian, you can explain it better than me. That's why you're here. But yeah, walk us through MySureFit and how you do the magic that you do.
Sure, Derek. Thanks very much for having us. I'm Christian, the founder and CEO of MySureFit, and I'm sure, as most of you know, there's apparel purchases have shifted in many ways to e-commerce. This has created a lot of information gap and journey frustration for consumers, who are, ordering multiple sizes. They're not sure how things are going to fit or look until they arrive in the mail. They end up returning them. And some of the statistics on this are pretty compelling. About 50% of customers are ordering multiple sizes now. 50% say the lack of visualization or try-on is one of their biggest frustrations. And that's resulting in return rates of anywhere between 30 to 70%, depending on the retailer's business model. It's creating a problem of over $100 billion a year right now in a market that was pre-COVID about $870 billion a year in terms of e-commerce apparel transactions. And here's the big problem that a lot of people didn't fully appreciate what was going to happen with e-commerce. In store, a couple women see a dress they like, they may grab a couple of sizes, take them to the fitting room, purchase one and leave the others, and they go back on the rack within 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But and generally that's a pretty good business. That means other women can actually try those same items on. They can make purchases or put them back on the rack. You have a very brief cycle time, and it's a pretty profitable business. But e-commerce changes everything, because now, if a single customer is interested in an item, they may order 2 to 3 sizes, and they're not really legitimate sales. They're really selling call options, if you think about it. And the customer may or may not keep that item, and they may end up returning them. But the challenge there is that item is actually hanging out on someone's kitchen table for as much as 30, 60, 90 days. In some cases, it's 100 days, which means that those items are not available for other customers. The brand retailers very quickly run into a very difficult problem. The first problem is they may have stockouts, and that results in customer loss, or they have to fund a lot more. They have to deal with return costs and whatnot. It's very expensive for the brand retailer. But the big problem, and the reason why it's such a big problem is it really comes down to fit. And the issue there is that for that customer, when you think about the actual information they have, each consumer is unique. They've got unique measurements and shape profiles. Garments have unique shapes. They vary even within brand. They're based on unique fit model manufacturing guidelines. Consumers have unique fit preferences, and brands have a whole range of different size runs. So those create major information gaps that used to be closed in store fitting rooms. And so the problem that you have is you have a situation where consumers are self-reporting measurements. They're trying to use some of these existing fit tools. And there's really no standardization, because where one brand may treat, a certain part of the body, bust or high hip, whatever it might be, another brand may treat it in a different location, and the consumers don't know where to actually report. So that results in customer confusion, right around the time of checkout. So what do? They end up bracketing. They're not sure which size to get, so they ended up ordering all 3 sizes, right? And they might keep one, as I mentioned earlier. They might end up keeping multiple sizes, for an extended period of time. And that problem ultimately results, as I mentioned earlier, in potentially a stock out problem for the brand retailer, which destroys customer acquisition cost and lifetime value. Or it can result in the bigger risk, which is an increase in inventory from brand retailers to supply that effectively what is artificial demand. Because just because someone purchases 3 dresses online doesn't mean she's going to keep all 3 dresses. So they're funding an artificial demand model, which is what the unit economics, which really are deadly for the industry. Destroys working capital, destroys profitability. And that's why you're continuing to see an increase of bankruptcies in the space. It's not just because COVID, it's because e-commerce is really hurting the unit economics of these businesses, and they're trying to make a transition from in-store to online. And to show you just how big of a problem this really is, fitting rooms are, as I mentioned, are now shifting to living rooms and kitchens. And you're talking about thousands of retail stores where consumers used to come in and try things on in those 50 to 100,000 stores. Now the brands are pushing out to almost 129 million households. in some cases, depending on the cycle time, that can mean an increase in 1,500 times the necessary inventory to support the kind of trial model they had before in store. And that results in mass return costs at the end of the season. Just from a sustainability perspective, an ESG perspective, it is terrible. There's a tremendous amount of unnecessary manufacturing, a lot of waste at the end of the season, and really long term, it threatens brand perceived value, because consumers, if they start to get trained that if they wait to the very end of the season, if it's all that volume to come back from all those households, and then to get a really cheap deal, they will just delay their actual purchasing decision. So it leads to brand devaluation for the brand retailers. MySureFit solves this problem for the entire environment, for the consumer, brand retailers, and even marketers to some extent. We provide the ultimate digital fashion experience to brands, brand retailers, and consumers. We provide high fit accuracy for consumers and outfit visualization. We stop the returns for brand retailers, and we increase conversions. The way we do it is MySureFit has a patented solution. Users can, we can basically determine their proprietary shape and their fit reconciliation capabilities within 60 seconds. We use a number of other data sources to confirm whether or not someone can actually fit into a specific style, and then we actually match them with the right size. They're completely free from even having to select the size. And so what that means is that when a consumer is shopping on MySureFit, they just get one size. They don't have to actually see the size. And I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. They basically just get one single size, and the brand retailers only going to ship out one size as well. So they are not having to access a lot of that additional inventory to store it, ship it out, doing all the costs of that, and most importantly, the customer's keeping it because it fits them and it's what they wanted it to be. And in some cases, maybe buying one or two items to go together as an outfit they could actually visualize before they actually buy it. So you're giving the consumer, a tremendous amount of information in advance of the actual purchase. It's very simple to use. Consumer can use our app or our web-based activation capability. They can upload their photo in about 60 seconds. We determine a unique 99% accurate shape profile for that consumer, and we reconcile that information with other data that we have, machine learning and AI, to ensure they're going to get the proper size for any garment, and really help them avoid any false positives for items that wouldn't fit them. We also provide a virtual reality, augmented reality fitting room, which is all patented. They can only see garments on their body. They can mix and match, put things together within brand or even across branding, depending on how the consumer is actually using it. Essentially, we want people using MySureFit no matter where they shop, whether it's a major brand retailer, multi-brand retailer, a large vertical, or other online marketplaces. For example, we provide MySureFit as sort of as an example that people can shop on. Here's a simple web demo of one of our customer experiences. She basically can put together an outfit, top and a bottom. She can see how they actually look together. When she goes, when she goes to check out, she just selects MySureFit. She's freed from the confusion, that shopping cart friction at checkout, right? And then she can even, before she checks out, get feedback from friends, see what they actually think, to get a sense of whether or not her friends like it, or maybe they'll recommend a color change or a brand change, whatever it might be. And then they ultimately check out and they have a really, really good experience. We're about to release, very exciting, it's sort of in beta right now, one of our really exciting features for digital styling called MySureFit Wardrobe. So now we're combining visualization with fit, as well as styling capabilities digitally using the platform. You don't have to wait for an outfit to arrive in the mail to see if you like it, or to have to ship it back. You can do all of it digitally using augmented reality and your 99% accurate digital fit experience. Here's a look at MySureFit Wardrobe.
MySureFit Wardrobe, your digital stylist. We'll create a personalized wardrobe just for you, with only items you love that actually fit. Using your measurements and body shape, along with your style preferences, our proprietary technology filters through tens of thousands of styles and selects only the ones that are the best match for you. Instead of wasting time and energy searching through endless styles, trying to find what you want, swipe through outfits that perfectly match your unique style and shape from all the greatest brands. Your style and fit are unique. Instead of looking for it, spend more time enjoying it. Get MySureFit Wardrobe, where your perfect style meets your perfect fit. Complete your style profile to get started.
So just to use some proof of validation, we now have well over 200,000 users on MySureFit. We have thousands of customers, thousands of orders, over 22,000 I think is sold now. across 250 plus brands. Our average user sessions have been very strong, higher than expected conversion rates, better than average industry reorder rates, and most importantly, a return rate of less than 1%. So our technology works. We're now opening up, and a lot of customers explain why they like it.
I'm absolutely obsessed and in love. And I love that I don't have to worry about returning because I already know that it's going to fit.
It fits perfectly.
I'm so happy how everything fits.
And there's so many brands.
So those again, I think the customers are really excited about it. And the benefit here now is that when you're going back to that diagram I showed you earlier, when someone's using MySureFit, they're going to basically be able to visualize things, know they're going to have the right fit before they actually purchase. When they do purchase it, they end up keeping that item. And what does that mean? You're not having to face stock out scenarios with customers, frustrated customers, having customers initiate returns for items, and all that other inventory that you have is available for other customers who also can get referred into MySureFit or to use MySureFit. And that means you have happy customer journeys, referable customer journeys that make the entire ecosystem and environment more profitable. On the consumer side, good satisfaction, referability, lowering customer acquisition costs, extending lifetime values, protecting, optimizing working capital through optimal inventory control and fulfillment control, and maximizing profitability at the end of the day, because this really increases unit economics dramatically compared to not just e-commerce, but even in store. Our e-commerce margins using MySureFit are better than the margins that brand retailers would typically see in store. So that's pretty much everything. I hope that's helpful to you. I'm happy to answer any questions. Sorry, Derek, I can't hear you for some reason. Just give me 1 second, please.
Here I am.
There you are.
Sorry. So I was going to say, you were talking about retail, and and I honestly believe that you could improve the retail experience. Like, people should actually walk into the store and do virtual try-ons rather than real try-ons, because it'll be faster, it'll be easier.
Correct. Think about MySureFit as being sort of like Apple Pay. It's like a calling card. So once they're MySureFit enabled, where they activate from home in the privacy of their home or their office or hotel room or wherever, they're active. Their account is ready to go. I also expect that some brand retail partners may want to have activation capabilities in their stores, so that once someone is activated, no matter whether they're shopping online or in store, they can visualize and mix and match in cases where a retailer has something that somebody likes perhaps in store. Bam, MySureFit, have to worry about the sizing. They can get the sizing. And perhaps there's another garment that they want to match with it that isn't in store, or a size isn't in store. The brand retailer say, hey, don't worry about it. We've got your address. We've got your sizing. We're shipping it today. You'll have it in 2 days, right? Yeah. It solves the problem. So they get the benefit of information that can be gathered in store, but you're really protecting the consumer experience and managing inventory much better.
You're also locking that customer in a lot better, because once they've experienced this and you've got their data, they go online, they're offline. It doesn't matter. They are not choosing their sizes. You know who they are. You know what they've purchased. You know what they like. So it's incredible. You're set to disrupt all of it. What's interesting is that I'm sure your nth level game could be becoming the fashion brand, I guess. But you know what I mean? You've got the core technology that transforms how people interact with brands, and just like Amazon sold other people's books and then ended up creating their own products. I think you've got such a powerful technology. I'm sure it will become proliferated. You're just getting started with orders coming in. This is set to take off. COVID accelerated it, but it was already well on the way. I think it'll combine nicely with other elements of personalization and segmentation that we saw from John and LimeSpot and Octane, because once we know your sizes, we could also let you know of products that have become available. We can change the email sequences to cater towards your size. And then most importantly, you reduce that. I always found the size selectors to be super annoying on websites. It's like, I gotta choose my size shoe. I gotta choose my size shirt, my size pants. I'm a wide, and it's like what, it's just in there. So the less, friction, the more friction we can reduce, right? The take away, the more purchases will be made, and you already got the data to prove it. So.
Yeah, well, the sizing issue, even in store, is frustrating, right? I try to explain to people, and I wrote a paper on this years ago. And when I looked at the whole, problem, the whole challenge, to me, sizing was just a language. You've got billions of languages out there. What does medium mean? What does large mean? What does it mean, right? So, and it varies, right? And then you have all the vanity sizing that's in there. So it's very confusing for consumers in general. And then when you get online, and there's some tools that are out there to try and do certain things with it, but we free the consumer and the brand retailer from all of it. They just say, what's my size, right? Or correction, here's what I want. Just give me MySureFit. I'm done. Send it to me. I'll look forward to seeing it in a couple of days, and to be able to free them, not just for the mental friction and the confusion that you rightly pointed out. It's a big issue from an empathy perspective, from a consumer confidence perspective. We saw during our research and testing just how much people were affected or trying to manipulate, things. And I try to tell them all the time, you're not a number, you're not a letter, you're not a size, you're just you. There's nothing wrong with you. So don't think about that. Just enjoy the garment. You like the fashion, you like the style. Go enjoy girls' night out, or date night, or whatever it is. And that was very, very freeing for them.
Yeah, I love it. On the merchant side, or since we're talking to merchants today, I know that you work with larger brands in the fashion space. What does that onboarding process look like? So do you have to size every garment? Do you get a picture of it and make estimates?
No. So we've been at this for several years to get to where we are now, where it is a completely digital platform. And by the way, David Cunningham joined us recently, and we were just featured on WWD Sustainability. So we're starting to get more and more, coverage right now in terms of press and whatnot. But no, one reason why David joined us is because not only did he test it and use it, and had done a fair amount of diligence in the space, he was really blown away by the accuracy of it, as well as the scalability of it. So a lot of what we've invested in and developing is the ability to scale this technology. We do not require tech packs. We don't require spec sheets. We don't require physical inventory. Our technology does all of it automatically using a number of very advanced theories and approaches in terms of solving that problem. And so the onboarding, to answer your question, is very easy because they literally plug our technology into their platform, and they're up and running in a day or two or so. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to send us new photos. They don't have to do anything. Our technology is able to use all existing, brand retailer assets they already have without sending us anything. Our system can pick all of it up automatically. So, if you have customers or partners that are interested in learning more, I'm sure David would love to chat with them. And he's a 30-year veteran. I mean, he was a president of major, brands. He can walk them through exactly, why we did this and all the benefits we provide to brand retailers and merchants and whatnot to be helpful to them, however we can.
I love it. This is amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing big things in your guys' future. You've created something, a really differentiated technology using artificial intelligence, which is the theme of today's show. And I think we can see how, with that, the vision of what you created, now bringing it into the reality, which I'm sure took hundreds and thousands of dev hours and a lot of banging heads against walls and all that stuff. But this is the start of a new age where we don't have to try on our clothes to know that they fit.
Well, it's a very interesting thing you just commented on that a lot of people, I did a bunch of big data analysis and data science and whatnot. One of the issues a lot of people don't really pick up on, Derek, when they talk about AI and ML a lot, those are sexy, exciting words. The issue is, forget the algo for a second. Forget the machine learning for a second. If the data quality that those machines are using is not high quality, ML can actually make your business worse, right? So you're seeing a lot of companies that are out there trying to ML stuff, and they all of a sudden it's like, I'm not getting the results I want. Well, that's because the data that you put in there is garbage, right? Or it's not quality information, or it's inconsistent information. So one of the most powerful things that we have at MySureFit is we knew AI and ML were important to it, but we did extensive R&D and research around how to approach constructing those actual formulas and the variables that we used, and how we would generate and proprietary data and whatnot to go into those models. And I think it's something a lot of people tend to glance over. They think they're going to, throw some formula they found online somewhere and solving a problem. And it's actually the fit problem and everything else we've done is much harder than AI and ML. And I just wanted to share that with you. For anyone listening about AI and ML, one of the biggest challenges that AI and ML migration is facing is data quality, right? And so a lot of those data science firms are spending a significant amount of time really doing janitorial work on data, right? Just making sure data is consistent, clean, similar format, whatnot, and then making sure that it's actually reliable data, and there's not a lot of false positive data in there. So anyway, hope that's helpful to you.
Yeah, well, I am down the roadmap of our business. We're going to have this problem. We will eventually build a machine learning algorithm to help understand the right technology tools to use at the right stage of business. But we know for certain that that the data that we need to collect in order to make to analyze results is going to be very cloudy, because this is not the same as a personalization tool like LimeSpot. This is, messy business. It's like, literally, did this tool improve your, conversion rate? Did it make your business better? And we have to look at that across thousands of businesses and compare against multiple different factors. So I'm very worried about that personally. When it comes to what you've been able to do, there must have been a conversation, because you said that it's completely digital. You don't need the product. So you must have looked on these major retailers' websites and said, these are the images we have to use. They're not, perfect, because all I have to do is zoom in on the image and it's a different size. So how am I going to figure out that it's 44 inches and not 43 inches? I'm sure you had to really figure that one out.
Well, I can, first of all, when we started out, we did this the hard way. We actually started in some of the hardest categories of apparel. And we worked with hundreds of brands. I mean, I think there was over 1,000 were interested in wanting to work with us. We actually took physical inventory at the early stages to do a lot of our research and development.
Yeah.
We looked at tech packs and spec sheets and everything. And we evaluated that time, this is several years ago, should we go out and build a tech pack or spec sheet standardization type formula? And we quickly concluded, no, we could end up spending several years and a ton of money trying to persuade people to change the way they do their tech, right? I mean, it's like, that's not the problem. The problem isn't the tech pack. The problem is other things with respect to, I'm not going to go into some of the proprietary stuff that's really affecting the actual fit. And so we decided to go non-linear, and we said, forget the tech packs, forget the spec sheets. There's too much inconsistency, unreliability. Even the manufacturers don't follow spec sheets. We went out and just built our own system, our entire own fit reconciliation system that addresses the fit problem. So
that's a big gamble, I'm sure it felt like at the time.
Yeah, well, my thinking, look, anytime you're trying to innovate, and a lot of people, 90% of most entrepreneurs or people that think that they're doing things in an innovative fashion, they're really just making incremental linear changes. Mm-hmm. Real innovators are going to say, what's if there was no restriction on the dream or what we could do, what would we do? Oh my gosh, it's impossible. We can't do, why can't we do it? What do we need to do it? And I think once you have a culture of people that are not afraid to have the courage to think about different ways of achieving results, and they're going to get a lot of pushback, and people are going to say there's no way it can be done, and insiders and industry, legacy personnel and senior executives, everyone's got a lot of endowment to do it the way they used to do it, and they want to move a little bit but not too much, so in order to go non-linear, you have to have a culture of people that are not afraid to ask the tough questions, to tell you what you may not want to hear, that this may take us a lot of time, may cost us some money. We may fail terribly, and I'm always prepared to fail. We may fail at this, but if we can do it, it's going to be a major game changer, and that's what I do. I believe in pursuing game-changing opportunities. And that's not necessarily the DNA that a lot of organizations have, because, they're dealing with street, results, quarterly results, and near-term milestones, and they're afraid that they don't have the latitude to take that kind of risk and make those kinds of decisions. That's all our company does, is figure out hard problems to solve, problems that people say can't be solved or won't be solved in this lifetime, whatever, and we just go after it. And frankly, Derek, for everyone migrating to AI and ML tools, most of the issue really comes down to one simple, issue, is proper problem definition. What is the real problem here, right? And a lot of times what you'll see is organizations get distracted trying to solve this little thing over here, right? Oh, I gotta put the button here the conversion's not there. Oh, the colors, no. The problem's not where the button is. The problem's not the color of the button. The problem is the stuff doesn't fit them, right? Right? Like, that's the real problem that you have. And so, that's as you're looking at the solution you're just describing that you're trying to do, that problem definition, really knowing what problem you're trying to solve and why you're solving it, and what is the magnitude of solving that problem. Is that a major game changer, or is that a small linear? And then there's times where you have to fix smaller problems. But I try to always keep the organization focused on what is the biggest problem we're trying to solve. And okay, bam, we solved that one. What's the next biggest problem we have to solve, right? And the great thing about it is people get really excited about that when they realize that they've been given the latitude to go and solve really hard problems, as long as they're consistent with corporate, or strategic objectives. They'll change the world for you. They'll do things that you never thought they could actually do. It shouldn't, the ideas shouldn't be coming from me. I may have a vision and some dreams, but ultimately those people have to go out and be able to make that happen. So if you can empower those people to remove the restrictions and remove the fear and all the short-term pressures and penalties of things, then you'll be amazed what people can actually do for you.
I love it.
On a tangent. I know
this is good business advice. It's perfect for me. I feel like I just got a little bit of a coaching session here. It's perfect.
I'm sorry. You talking about AI, and so you're trying to do something with your company. I thought, hey, I'm trying to help you so you're not wasting a lot of your time going through.
I know that I have a lot of mistakes and failures in my future. Trying to do something like you said that's never been done before.
We all do. We all do. The greatest core competency we can develop is that muscle, the ability to get back up. You can get punched in the mouth. It's okay, get back up. One more day, one more time, every day, right? And that's where you start to change things long term. So I hope that's helpful to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, I'll let you go. Everyone, that was MySureFit. Christian, great advice. Good talking, just general AI and ML, as well as seeing that product in action. We're going to see great things from you in the future. I'm sure of it.
Thanks very much, Eric, for your time. Appreciate the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. With that, we have reached the end of this event. Wow, so many amazing technologies. I think, hopefully your mind isn't spinning too much. Some of these may apply to you immediately. Some of them may not apply to you at all. If you're not in fashion and apparel, then maybe the last one, you'll use it as a customer, but you will never use it as a brand, and that's totally fine. The challenge from this point forward is thinking about how you're going to roll out these technologies that can significantly improve the business. Which tool should we start with? Which tool is a no-brainer win? Which one is going to require me to invest some of my own time and resources, invest my team's time and resources? Which one's going to take a longer time to return on that investment? And this is a tough question to answer. As you heard me say, I'm trying to build a machine learning algorithm to actually answer this question. And I promise it's not going to be easy to get to that endpoint. And we're a long ways away. We're being completely transparent with you. We are starting with basic reporting and using my knowledge of the industry, but it will eventually move into that direction where you will have a clear roadmap on the tools you should be implementing, and you'll be able to understand how they're going to bring you return on investment. It is, unfortunately not your job, but is your job to keep an eye on the technology landscape. You run an e-commerce store, a retail store with an online presence. You are in the technology space. You have an opportunity, and as well as the cost of the mistakes of improving conversion rate, of improving retention and loyalty. The options and opportunities are out there. There are many different ways to make more money. It's all about figuring out which ones are right for you, how what the strengths of your organization are, the stage of your business. You know, the margin of your product can also impact some of the decisions you're making, and also even the marketing channels, right? So we heard from segments by Trestle, and if you are doing advertising and also shop fluency on Facebook and Instagram, immediately those two tools kind of come to the front runner. Whereas if you're doing more content marketing and have a large blog following, maybe it's Edge Mesh and using the that tool to increase page speed, load time, and therefore increase conversion rate, right? Or maybe you get a lot of returns and exchanges or broken items or something like that, and then route should be where you start. So I can't answer this question for you. All I can do is show you the options. You can actually book a consultation with me where we can look at this more in depth, and I can try and give more specific advice to your business. You can go to ecommercetech.io, hit the get advice, it's free button, and we book a call and we just talk about this the same way that we talked with all the technology companies today, except that we're just looking at your business instead of the industry at large. Really enjoyed having you with me. I hope you had a great time. If you have any questions, feedback, leave them here in the comments. Email me, Derek@ecommercetech.io, DERRIC @ecommercetech.io. I know you probably got a ton of emails from me today. That's part of the Hey Summit software. I promise that we won't be sending out that many emails in a day unless it's around an event that you registered for. I also want to thank again our sponsors, LimeSpot, Gorgeous, and Octane for presenting today. It's because of their presentations that we're able to do this whole thing for free and continue to do these amazing events for you. Look forward to seeing you back here. In 1 month, we're doing a retention event, then a social media event, then we're talking digitally native vertical brands, and so forth and so on. You will probably get an email from me in your inbox, and I'd always welcome responses and comments and all that stuff. Always happy to help wherever I can. Until then, I will see you guys next time.